Hello everybody and welcome back to Hash Talks. Today we'll be discussing Avatar: The Way of Water, the massively successful sequel to the original Avatar released in 2009. So we watched this movie on December 26th, one day after Christmas in cinemas, but we've taken a while to review it because we kind of just forgot about it, if we're being honest. But we're reviewing it now. So,
Woohoo!
Let's get started with the facts and figures with Swash.
Thank you, Harry. As we all know, The Way of Water is a sequel to the massively popular Avatar released in 2009. Both movies were directed by James Cameron, and the first movie was really successful. It was released on the 16th December 2022.
That is the second movie, Avatar: The Way of Water.
Yeah. Actually, 3 days before my birthday. And also, the movie had a budget of $250 million, and, well, it didn't produce results. But it didn't produce the results we all wanted. Expectations were high, obviously, but we'll come to that later. As of March 2023, made $2.2 billion at the box office. It must have had a high weekend opening box office as well. Anyway, we'll go to Harry for the next slide.
This movie is quite long, so it has quite a big story. So this movie picks up quite a long way after the first movie. So Jake and Neytiri, the two main protagonists of the first movie, have started...
Isn't it
Neytiri, whatever. They've started a family together with 4 children, and Jake is the chief of the Almaty Kaya clan. The humans have returned to Pandora to colonize it because Earth is being destroyed by pollution and stuff. And so Jake leads a campaign with his clan to stop them. When his adopted son, Spider, is captured, Jake realizes Spider knows all their plans and whereabouts, and therefore he exiles himself and his family, fleeing to Pandora's eastern seaboard. When they arrive, they're taken in by the Metkayani clan, who teaches them the way of water, as the humans attempt to find them. When Jake's daughter gets an epilepsy attack, he calls some of his friends, and by aircraft, the humans find out where he is, or his relative location, not exactly where he is. Then the humans come to this kind of eastern seaboard area and start interrogating some of the many tribes around this area.
Wait, before we move on, I want to say one thing. I genuinely thought that when it said The Way of Water, I thought the main characters would learn waterbending, as in the Avatar show, Avatar: The Last Airbender show. But it was a lot more disappointing. I just wanted them to learn waterbending. Is that too much to ask, James Cameron? You had a budget of $250 million, tons of CGI, and they couldn't.
Calm down.
Your characters couldn't learn waterbending.
Okay. Moving swiftly on. So, with no success, the humans start killing Tulkuns, who are spiritual whales of great importance to the water people. When one of the Tulkuns with a spiritual bond to one of Jake's sons is attacked, Jake's children and some of the Metkayani clan leaders' children go to rescue it, and they're captured by the humans. But Jake arrives with an army from the Metkayani tribe to rescue them. A massive battle ensues, which takes about an hour and goes on for quite a bit. And so eventually, Jake surrenders to keep his children alive, but the Tulkun with the spiritual one to one of Jake's children flips over the ship and starts this hour-long battle. And in the midst of this, Jake's oldest son is killed, causing Jake and Neytiri to go onto the ship and find the previous villain of the old movie. What was his name?
Miles Quaritch.
Miles Quaritch, who has been resurrected as a
blue alien.
Yeah, and Jake and Quaritch fight. Quaritch is almost killed, but is saved by his
adopted son Spider.
By his Spider, Jake's adopted son, is actually Quaritch's biological son. And so the battle is essentially won. The humans have lost. Everyone survives apart from Jake's oldest son. Quaritch and Spider are still out there. And Jake vows to continue his campaign against the humans and accepts his role as part of the Metkayani tribe. Now, that's quite a lot. That's 3 hours worth of storytelling. So I'll now hand over to Splash to decide the good, the bad.
Okay, first, as you can see, the bad outweighs the good stuff. And here's what's good. The CGI effects are really amazing. The visuals look really stunning.
This movie is elevated by its visual performance so much. It elevates it by without the VFX effects. If this was just a normal movie about, say, two countries having this fight, this would be a very bad movie. But the VFX effects elevate it to at least a 6 out of 10.
I would say this plot feels kind of quite simple. Like, if you were to depack it, or if you were to depack a 3-hour movie into like 2 sentences, then you would understand the movie quite a bit. But however, while it has good CGI, the problem with it is it's really long. 3 hours worth, and the middle section is a waste of time and really slow.
Essentially, the middle hour-ish is just Jake and his family trying to assimilate in the Quantummania tribe. And a lot of people have called it just a teenage sitcom, rom-com with blue aliens, which I would say is a bit harsh. It has bits of action, bits of emotion that's quite interesting. But it's not too much of a stretch to say that it's quite boring.
And also, the villain is repeated. Why this is on the bad list when lots of movies have repeated the villain? Well, the problem here is that the stakes don't feel the same. Like, Miles Quaritch hasn't really changed. Apart from his physicality, he's changed. But mentally, he still hates Jake and the others. And all that changes about him is that he has a son. And the stakes just feel the same. It's the same trouble, but just different place, which is like a couple miles away from Jake's place. So yeah, that's a big problem. However, what else was good? Also, another thing, I feel like, in my opinion, I feel like Jake's younger son should have died, not the older one. What did the older one do? The younger one was way more important.
Obviously, if you haven't watched the movie, you won't understand this, but Jake has 2 biological sons. We can't remember their names because all of the names...
Mateo and Lauk.
Oh, he can remember their names. Mateo's the older one, right?
Yes.
Mateo is essentially the older brother, is kind of...
You just said Mateo?
Mateo is the older brother, and he's kind of sidelined by his younger brother, who takes the focus. The son that we mentioned earlier, who has the spiritual bond with the Tolkien, that's the younger son. The younger son is the one who drives a lot of the middle section's drama, and is generally the more troublesome one, and we both feel that he was the one that was put more of a focus on, so Mateo dying wasn't as emotionally impactful as it should have been.
Yeah, and also, there was one more bit I liked. I think I liked the bit where how Jake's children were they were quite widely diverse in terms. When I say this, I mean they all have something very different about them. Took is quite young, I thought her name was Duke, don't say anything. Took was quite young, and she's still got a future. Spider is a human and is completely different. He's an outsider. He kind of feels like he doesn't fit in, but he does. Same with Kiri. She doesn't feel like she fits in, and she's adopted as well. And she's
the adopted son of Grace,
adopted daughter
of Grace from the first movie.
So it's Grace and Kiri and Spider, they kind of feel like they don't belong and they're left out. Spider because he's a human, and Kiri because she's just socially awkward and quiet. Lauk is troublesome and brave, and Mateo is mature and leaderish. And yeah, they're quite different. And
in terms of character arcs, the focus is mainly on the children.
Yeah.
Jake kind of goes through the same character arc as the first movie, just trying to protect the people that he cares about, which I guess works for this movie, but the main focus of the character development is on his children, who kind of learn the ways of kind of war and dealing with this kind of conflict. So, I think, is that it about talking about the goods and the bad? That's about it. That's all we have to say, really. That's the end. So, thank you for watching, and we will see you if we finally watch Quantummania and do a review on it.
Let us know what you want to review next. Preferably anything from Quantummania.
Goodbye. Why isn't it stopping?